I wasn't going to weigh in on the Colorado shooting that happened a few days ago. But after I've heard the shooter's name, I was pretty sure it was a program that the man was programmed, acting under mind control. But I just wasn't going to respond to this. I've told about mind control murders that have been deliberately done in patterns and can be proven. And anyway, this was one of them. Robert Dear, D-E-A-R. You have to have a background, like encrypt or, anyway, they can be proven. And the point I wanted to make was Larry Flint. I mentioned him because he did help me in a political campaign in Atlanta when Dr. Congressman Larry McDonald's plane was shot down, the Korean jetliner was shot down. It veered into their airspace on August the 31st of 83. And I had written about him in a book, medical malpractice book, and I almost got killed April Fool Day of 80. So I'm leaving out all of that part. The book didn't get published. But Larry Flint was shot during that time in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78. He flew me out to his home when Larry McDonald's plane went down. And I mentioned him because his attorney was killed and Mr. Flint was shot with a Magnum. And so NBC told me some years ago that his insides were on the sidewalk, so I'll leave it at that. But he tried to help in the campaign, and I was out there twice. And he's paid a price for telling the truth himself. His wife, Althea, died. I'm sure there's... Anyway, he almost lost his power of attorney, his company, and he was locked up in Butner, North Carolina, federal prison. And oddly enough, that's where some of the serial killers, and that's who a lot of them are, or they've been programmed to kill. And so anyway, I wanted to say that about the Colorado Springs. It's just like the Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes. He was programmed. The Tucson, Arizona shootings, Congressman Gabby Gifford. So I could go on the Virginia Tech next door to me that have been the recent ones. And even the psychiatrist at Fort Hood, he graduated from Virginia Tech and went on to medical school somewhere else. But he was actually born here in Roanoke, Vinton. But there's a long list of them, and the mind control murders where they've been deliberately done because mind control is invisible. So these can be proven. I wanted to refer back to, it's a little akin to, if you stop and think about it, I didn't need his name to tell you it was a mind control program shooting. The press won't tell it, but you can Google mind control and you can relate to it even though you don't see the patterns that are being used. But I'll sound rambling going on, and quite frankly, I'm tired and I'm getting old, and it doesn't seem to make any difference anyway. But I'll refer back to, it's a little bit akin to, I lived in Atlanta when I was doing the book, Marietta. But then I moved, I guess you call it moving up here, October the 20th of 86 to Virginia. After being out in Mr. Flint's, and I just got shut down. No place to live, my job shut down, everything. So I moved up here. But anyway, I was on the Appalachian Trail trying to live, and Eric Rudolph was also on the trail. And he was in the Carolinas hiding because he was supposed to have committed the Olympic Park. I guess that was bombing, in Olympic Park in Atlanta. And also he was convicted of the bombing of the abortion clinic in Alabama. So he lived in the forest and was a survivor for a long time. But I want to say this about it. He was programmed, certainly, and that one can be proven. It was a mind control. And this has nothing to do with mental illness whatsoever. That's being the scapegoat for it, but that's not it. None of the presidential candidates, they just ask their opinion on it. The ones I heard had nothing to say about mind control, which is the real weapon used in all this. It's just another war game. But back to Eric Rudolph. His he's in prison now for that, in federal prison, and he was totally programmed. He's a victim himself, and that's what's so hard to get other people to get with that he's a victim himself, unless it happens to them or one of their family members and they know it. It's just you could say a form of hypnosis, but it takes a lot more, and you can't see it. The hypnotist is not sitting there right before you, carrying you through the process. Anyway, Eric Rudolph at first wasn't charged for the bombing in Olympic Park bombing in Atlanta. It was Richard Jewell. And then they said Richard Jewell didn't do it. His attorney was Lynn Wood. And I'm going to leave it at that one because Patsy Ramsey and John Ramsey's daughter, John Benet Ramsey, was killed out in Boulder, Colorado. And, of course, they live in, Roswell, or they live in Marietta, I believe. Now, of course, Patsy's deceased. But I'll leave you on that one. Think about it.